I never expected to homeschool. My name is Bethany. I'm the mother of 5 children, 3 are school age, and I've been homeschooling for about 5 years. I have a 10-year-old girl, an 8-year-old boy, a 5-year-old girl, a 3-year-old boy, and a 7-month-old girl. My parents are both Christian school teachers. They spent their whole career working as Christian school teachers. And I said, I will do anything except teach. So I became a clinical microbiologist, and now I'm a teacher. So never tell God you won't do something. One of the neatest things about homeschooling is the way that I get to know my children and I get to be with them. And you really get to know a person when you spend time with them. I spend a lot of time with my children. We sit around at breakfast and we read the story of the world, and they love that and I love that. And so it's just a build bonding time for our relationship. Reading aloud has really been a fun thing, and we've done it all along the way. One of the first books that we read together that I would consider more non-picture book would be The Chronicles of Narnia. And my husband and I and all the kids read that together, and it was really fun to kind of read it to them and see if they understood it. But then we had that shared culture of those books, and so in general conversation we could say, well, remember how so-and-so did such and such, and we all know that. And so all the books that we've read since then have added to that culture that we can dive into together. So I love the expression about teach a child to read so that that child can teach himself. And so we were doing a grammar lesson about commas. I was introducing commas to her, and she's like, oh, I know about commas. And I was like, how do you know about commas? She says, I read a book about commas. I said, you did? She said, yeah, I'll go get it for you. And she got out this book and she showed me, Eats, Shoots, and Leaves, the kids version, and she had learned about commas. So I've seen that shift, and then because of that, I can give her an assignment and she goes off and does it and brings it back, and I can check it. In the early stages, they really need a lot of one-on-one, a lot of hand-holding. But the thing about the early stages is that it doesn't take that long. That was when I started homeschooling, I thought I was doing it wrong because we got done so fast. Because if you're teaching one child to read, you listen to that child read and then you're done. If you're teaching 20 kids to read, you have to listen to each one read, and it takes 20 times as long, and so it takes the whole school day. But we would do our reading, our writing, our arithmetic, our Bible, we'd have it all done, and school was done. It would maybe take an hour or two, and then there would be time for free play. And so the early stages, they need a lot more one-on-one, but it doesn't take that long. So one of the nice things about homeschooling is that the rules that apply in a traditional school setting don't necessarily apply. And so if I'm having a bad day, or if my children are having a bad day and therefore I'm having a bad day, or vice versa, we can just stop. So sometimes I'll be doing math with my son and he gets bogged down, and it's not because he doesn't understand the concept, but it's because his attitude and his emotions are just all caught up in the moment, and then I start to respond with my emotions and my attitude. Sometimes we just need space, and I send him to one place and I go to another place, and then we come back together and we're friends again. But sometimes it doesn't matter if he gets that math concept today. He'll get it tomorrow. And so working on, like I said before, what one of the best things about homeschooling is that relationship. One thing a homeschool mom taught me early on was that the subject matter is not the most important thing. The important thing is the character that you're building in your child. And so if you need to stop teaching him math and start teaching him about how to control his emotions or how to respond in a difficult situation, that's far more important than the math, which he will get the next day. But letting the subject material go momentarily is important, because then you can get back on track. And honestly, sometimes when we're having a bad day, we just pack it up and have a field trip.